Hello and welcome to Dyson Sphere Program once again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't see my little sort of preview introduction to this game, I will link it down below in the video description. Check it out. This game, I wasn't even sure if I was going to do a Let's Play on this because it is one of them factory games all about kind of building efficiency and stuff like that. Wasn't sure how it's going to translate into a Let's Play, but I've played a bit offline and sort of casually and stuff, and I think I've got kind of hang of it. I believe I can make something of this. But you guys are the ultimate decision makers in this, so do let me know after you watch this video if you liked, if you enjoyed, if you want to see more, because if you don't want to see more, then I won't bother. If you do, we'll absolutely do some more. Let's do a new game. Okay, Dyson Sphere Program, by the way, is a sort of top-down kind of the Factorio type Satisfactory-ish game. It's got an amazing soundtrack. It's so good. It's peaceful. It's chillaxing, relaxing, and it's a lot of fun. And it sort of just keeps on going and going and going, and you just keep on unlocking more and more stuff. And I think the driver here is in just that kind of always getting something new to build. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so great. You've done an iron line. Wonderful. All right. Now what? Now what? You know, and so on and so forth. Okay, I'm going to increase my multiplier up to 2 just so I'm not waiting around too much. Number of stars 64 is fine. That's going to give us lots and lots and lots and lots of resources to play with. I just click random on here, but I suppose you could type a number in there. I'm looking for sort of galaxies or star clusters in this case that don't have too many gaps in them. You see how like these worlds out here are sort of isolated. I don't even know if we can get to them. I don't think you can. I think they are literally just isolated. And boom. Wow. Okay, everything is connected in this one. I don't think there's a single isolated star. There's a black hole in this one. Amazing. Right, okay, let's go. Okay, so here we are. I've skipped the sort of intro thing because I covered that in the little intro video that I did, but...
Now try to recycle the space capsule.
Oh yeah, we've got to do that first. Thank you, Mr. Sir Dude. Person. Marvellous. Go on, hurry up. Right, this looks pretty good, actually. Iron and copper right next to each other.
To give a series of commands.
Yeah, okay. Can we turn these things off? I don't even know if we can or not. Can I turn these off? I said it's only show important tips. There we go. That might keep him quiet for a bit. I don't want all the tips to go away.
To open the cabinet to view them.
What we got? We got stone. Is that stone over there? We haven't got the little veins distribution little thingy yet, so I can't tell. But I believe that's stone. Oh, there's 2 deposits of stone there. I'm looking for coal. I want a nice little coal deposit around here somewhere. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Bingo. Right, okay. So we've got... Actually, this is quite a nice distribution.
Mouse middle button drag to rotate the angle of view.
Yes,
or slide the mouse wheel to zoom in and out.
Okay, so we are
in the planet view mode.
Here.
You can hold down the middle mouse button drag.
Wait, are we?
Rotate the angle of view and hold down the right mouse button.
Is that me there?
Drag to roll the angle of view.
So, along what I'm looking at here is the equator here. Okay, so I've seen a lot of sort of tips and stuff coming out for this game already. A lot of people are getting into it and finding out the sort of best methods of stuff. You want to find a sort of equator, and the equator is just sort of north of the iron and copper deposit that we've started right next to. Take note here because you can see also a lot of the other deposits and where they are from here. So we've got another iron, another copper. 2, 3, 4, 5 coal deposits, 6 over there if you include that one as well, and the stone is over here. And we need all of this, and we need to all sort of bring it together in one coherent mass in order to produce these little blue and red cubes and yellow cubes eventually, and so on and so forth, that will allow us to research more and more tech. You start off with your iron, and then your copper, and you move on to stone and coal and stuff pretty quickly. Now, the reason I wanted a coal deposit is because I want to set up a miner on that in order to fill my mecha up with some coal so it doesn't run out of power. So here we know that our equator is along there. That's going to be useful when we come to putting up solar power. It's long there-ish anyway. We'll figure it out a bit closer. But we know that we want to set up sort of shop between these 3 deposits here, the copper, the iron, and the coal right there. Let's have a look in my inventory a second. What have I got? I've just got some minor bits and bobs here. Some minor bits. We haven't unlocked any buildings yet because we need to research electromagnetism. Let's get that done. Requires those things. Can we build those things? Should be able to, because kind of need them, don't we? we need 5 because it produces 2. And off it goes. Research being done. Bingo. Now we can build basic stuff. So our wind
a mining machine. Ore collecting automation.
Perfect. Let's see if we can get one more of these.
Or select it on gathering of construction menu to build it.
So I'm going to put this miner up against iron because ultimately we need iron and copper right at the beginning in order to start gaining resources and building more stuff. So in terms of fueling the mecha, so you're provided with hydrogen fuel cells in order to keep the mecha fueled until you can sort of set up stuff. Originally I said, oh, you could save them for emergencies, but to be honest, just go ahead and use them because you're going to have hydrogen coming out of your ears later on before you even leave the planet. And leaving the planet is probably the first time where you might be at risk of your mecha running out of power. Here he is, look. He's well cool. He's well cool. Yeah, and he jumps and flies and stuff. He flies later. We can get him to fly. It's amazing. Anyway, we need some power to this dude. So let me just double check. We are equatorial, just above that sort of coal deposit. Now, obviously putting the wind generators on the equator doesn't really matter, but I would like to have the wind and solar and stuff all in a nice little orderly band around the planet kind of thing. So we're going to put our
wind turbine
there.
Your first power grid. You have done building the first power transmission facility, Tesla Tower. It can carry out short-distance wireless power transmission and expand the power supply area of the power grid. Click on it to view the power grid information.
Tesla Tower remotely moves power about. Simple as that. Right, so we're going to grab the iron that this thing makes initially because we haven't got conveyors yet to boot it off into a storage, or smelters yet to boot it off into a smelter. So we just grab that iron out of there. It will continue to mine up until it gets to about 50, and then that's done again. We need another miner. So I think we can actually build. Can we get 2? I think we can only produce 2, and then we're out of stuff. So what you might need to do while that's doing that is manually, I know, it's shocking, it's just appalling, manually pick up some copper ore, so that you can turn it into copper ingots, and hopefully that will enable you to then do stuff like build another miner. Well, looks like we've got our 2 miners. Lovely. But we're also going to need some of these guys as well. So let's see if we can get a bunch of these. We can get 4 of those. We're going to need Tesla towers along with that. Let's now grab some more iron. So you have to keep going backwards and forwards a little while. Well, it's night time. I love that there's a little glow around Icarus here. It's so cool. But, yeah, you can even pick up these rocks. Pick these up. You notice how my mecha power down here at the bottom bar is getting rather low, and that's because he's doing lots of building, and I keep moving around and all sorts. Now I can go and stand, I think, next to this thing for a while. Oh no, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. You can unlock later a Tesla Towery type thing that then charges the mecha. Now if you're really struggling, like I'm going to be in any second now, you can find a little coal deposit here and we can just manually mine it, but you get like 1 ore a second. It's pretty diabolical. But you can then pop that in your mecha panel here in the fuel chamber, and it will start burning the coal which depletes the power a little slower because at the moment I'm building and mining, so it's just too much. But I get a bit of coal in there, building up a little supply, and then I stop mining, and that starts charging the mecha. It's able to generate its own power now. Wonderful. Alright, so let's go put one of these mining machines on this copper here. So you can rotate with R, and then if you hold shift you turn off the whole grid snapping thing, and you can see just by the miner how much a sort of minute or whatever copper it's going to produce. So I can get it up to, I think, what was the best number there, 294? 294, there we go, bingo. So we have our copper mine now, and we need to do the same thing. We need to plug in some wind turbines and get that powered up. So let's see if we can line this up nice and sort of tidily. Make sure the circles overlap a little bit, and that means power is going to transfer between them. And now we want some more Tesla towers. See if we can get like 5 of those going. There we go. Here we are. 1 Tesla tower. I'm just going to slap that next to it. Like there. And off it goes. There we go. So we now have copper and iron ingots coming in that we can pick up. And that's going to allow us to build even more stuff. We do have another miner ready to go. So let's go ahead and pop that on the coal and start digging that up as well, because we can then feed that into our mecha and we can never run out of power ever again. 650. Seems good. Another Tesla tower. That'll do. And off it goes. That is the beginning, believe it or not, of a Dyson Sphere. A magnificent engineering marvel that is a Dyson Sphere. At some point during this series, maybe, we'll actually be building one. Can you believe it? From humble beginnings. And there we go. So 50 coal will sit in there, and that charges my mecha. You can see my mecha power going up nice speedily now, because, well, I'm not doing any research or any building right now, so that's going to recharge the mecha nice and quickly. Grab another 50. Now, we want to keep an eye on power. We can click on these Tesla towers, and it tells us how much power we've got. We can see at the moment it's 100% satisfaction, and our consumption is just over a quarter of our capacity, which is about right, because only one of these mines is actually running. The other 2 are full and on standby. So we need to do a little bit of research now. We've got 2 research trees. There's this one, which takes us all the way up to Dyson Sphere, mission completed. And then there's upgrades, which upgrades our mecha itself, so we can increase our max core energy with a bit of that, which is quite good. But what we want is, we want some basic logistics system here. So we'll activate that. We'll also queue. What do we want? We want basic assembly. No, metallurgy. That's it. Yeah, metallurgy. Basic assembly. We don't need the fluid stuff. We'll get the electromagnetic matrices. And all these sort of take components up until this point, where they start taking these blue cubes. So we can't do those bottom 3. But I'll queue those other ones up. And so we can actually see now from our main screen what each one requires. So we'll start with this, which requires electronics and cogs. So we're just stuck with the mecha at the moment, so we'll just grab a bunch of cogs. Build me 10 of those, please, sir. And electronics. Build me 10 of those, please, sir. And off Icarus will go and build them. And the research will use the components as they arrive, sort of. Well, you need both of them to arrive in the inventory at the same time, but there we go. Basic logistics system is complete. We now have storage and conveyor belts. So now we've got storage conveyors. We can actually start these miners producing and storing their goods, so that they just carry on and start stockpiling some of the stuff, because we're going to need lots of it later. So let's go ahead and get ourselves 3 storages, which takes rock. We don't have a huge amount of rock, so maybe we should gather some more of that. I believe we saw some actual rock deposits over there. So later on we can actually set a miner up to start getting that, and we can get that turned into proper like concrete and stuff. Excellent, we've got the smelter as well, fantastic. So the next thing is the assembler, and that requires more cogs and more electronics. Let's go ahead and get that done. After all, we have plenty of iron and copper. It's just taking a little longer because ultimately, you know, we're doing it through Icarus rather than through actual production lines. Keep chucking that coal into your fuel chamber. Make sure your mecha doesn't run out of power. Okay, so let's start our first little production line. First of all, we need to plan a little bit. Now, it doesn't help that it's nighttime. I can't really see anything. But we need all these sort of production lines going off. Plenty of space towards matrices that turn them into blue cubes and stuff. Now, there's lots of iron down here. So, I'm thinking we go north. Yeah. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is these 3 mines here, I'm going to run north through the kind of equator here and up to this sort of side of things, where we're going to start then turning them into, you know, things like components and whatnot. So first thing, we can actually smelt the stuff here at the deposit, though. We don't need to smelt that up there. We can smelt it here, transport the ingots up there, where they'll then be used into other stuff. And the more you can kind of bus everything into sort of one place, the better, because later on you'll be combining lots of different ingredients to different things. So you need to be able to then route them all over the shop. Assembly line is done. Our next bit of research is even more of these magnetic thingy-majiggies. So let's get another bunch of those, and we've already got the electronics. We're also going to need a bunch of cogs, because we need conveyors, lots of conveyors. They've given us 20, but it's not nearly enough. So we get that producing another bunch, and let's grab some iron here. Okay, iron's first. We're going to take this out of the miner. The miner is one of the only things that you can connect a conveyor directly from. There we go. Electromagnetic research is done as well, so we can now build our matrices and stuff, which gets our research, our matrix lab. Okay, we need smeltery things. We've got 3 of those. So what we do, we've got a conveyor belt running out of our iron now. Smeltery thing, smeltery thing, smeltery thing.
You built a smelter.
I did.
Smelt
He sounded so happy about that, didn't he?
Iron ingots and copper ingots automatically, while you want to make the raw materials and products get in and out of it autonomously. You need to use sorters and conveyor belts.
One of the most efficient setups for these Tesla towers that I found is in triangles, and then you can get full coverage. And there we go. Our smelters are working. We've actually got space for one more, and it's just finished building. Pop that down as well, and conveyor that in there. Get rid of that last little bit of conveyor belt there, so we haven't just got iron hanging around. And there we go. 4 smelters working on iron ingots. Lovely. Okay. Now we need to run them off into a storage, and then off into the wilderness over there, where they'll combine with lots of other ingredients. So I'm going to run the conveyor the other way this time. Now, actually, there is different ways you could do this. I mean, what I've been doing offline is putting a storage right next to each one like that. But I think that might be slightly over the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build a line like that. Run this past a couple of storages up here. We need to build it. One thing I do find quite annoying about this game is that they're constantly running out of things. It's the fault of the game. I'm just like, I'm trying to do stuff here, and I've run out of storage, or I've run out of miners, or I've run out of components. I've got to go get more. It's like, damn it, I'm trying to build stuff. Now, that's part of the game, Spanj. You can't just turn that off and be in creative mode the entire time, right? Oh dear. Hear that noise? So the miner has just shut down there because it's obviously filled up. None of the other smelters are able to work at the moment because I need to get the materials from the smelter, these ingots here, from the smelter onto this belt and then into this storage. So I need a huge number of sorters. Well, I mean, I need 5, but I need those in order to empty into the storage. Once they go into the storage, these will run quite smoothly until these storages fill up. Eventually they will, but I do plan to take them out of these storages and, like I said, off up over there somewhere. But we need to do this all again to the copper, and I also need to get storage up against this coal here as well. So this whole setup here we're going to repeat a couple of times now. Let me just quickly finish these sorters off so you can see. There you go. The simple and quite satisfying delivery and movement of... Oh dear. Oh no, it's not fast enough. It's not quick enough, is it? Well, the good news is, if the belt is filling up, which it rather rapidly is filling up, I think. Yeah. Well, we can always add more sorters to these storages. And now they can move twice as fast. Now, bearing in mind that these sorters do use power, though, so try and keep it as efficient as possible, I would, rather than slapping 3 sorters on each storage. There might not be any need for it. Let's trim that little bit of conveyor there, and off it goes. Lovely. And that miner's running permanently. No little stop starting. Now we are only at 70% satisfaction though, with just 1 miner running. So it looks like we're going to have to add some more power to our little wind farm here. Now, one thing that does seem to always trip me up is that there are actually 2 ion products right from the start that you need. Not just ion ingots. You need these like magnets as well. It's 430, that's not bad actually. If you hold R, or hold shift and press and hold R, it will rotate it off the snapping as well. So you can actually get these miners linked up quite nicely. How is that? You're right next to a wind turbine, and apparently that's not close enough. Alright, whatever. So yes, you've got to mine iron in the smelter. Let me see if I can place one down real quick. Place it right here. There are 2 iron products, ingots and magnets, and you need magnets fairly early on. And I keep forgetting. I always forget them. I could be forgetting, but yeah. So this one's doing ingots. I'll get this one over here doing the magnets. They'll all converge over there somewhere. And the copper one is now up and running. So we've got the same setup there as with the iron. A couple of storages, all the smelters, and I've also got the coal going into a storage over there as well. A few more wind turbines are popping up. We're requiring more and more power. Once I get these basic components flowing and automated into some manufacturing over there, we can start producing the blue cubes that we need to unlock more stuff. Oh, there we are. Magnets as well are now producing. These guys need to get into this storage quickly and empty these out. I'm just going to grab a bunch of magnets. I'll have a few magnets on me. That's going to help out. Okay, so that's all the basic materials there then. Iron ingots, copper ingots, and these magnety things. If we have a look at our little construction components there, that's these 3 all done. Obviously these require ingots and magnets to make. The copper and so we need to combine them up over there with some manufacturers. These require ingots to make. Again, we can manufacture them, and that's iron and copper ingots as well. Stone, we need to get a stone thingy up, but we're not desperate for these yet. Generally I'd find if you unlock a component, don't rush to start producing it, because, well, you don't necessarily need it at the moment, and you could end up just cluttering up the place unnecessarily when other things might be more priorities. We're definitely going to need a high rate of production on magnetic coils and gears and electronics, circuit boards to start off with. So let's scout out where we're going to go first of all. We've got 2 coal deposits up here that we need to be careful about. Now there's this huge swath of land just above this one, in between them, or just on the left here. There's a lot of ocean on this map actually. There's a lot of water here. Later on you can get foundations where you can actually, like, you know, level things off completely. So, you know, if you've got a lot of water like I have here, you can actually eventually get rid of it. It's just quite costly. Anyway, so I'm going to have, I think, some initial storages around here. We'll set the manufacturing up northbound, I think, from there. And we should have like tier 1 set up in this space here. And that should open us up then to move on to tier 2 stuff, maybe over there or something, I'm not sure. Yeah, we have to figure that out, because the land here is not particularly friendly. Okay, manufacturers then are these things here. These things are very, very useful for building and stuff. Have I got enough space actually here? I think I might do. Certainly for tier 1 components, I think I might do, yeah. And then we'll store them up by the coal over there. Right, so I'm going to pop that down there. Let's have a quick look and see how this thing works. So a bit like the smelter, you've got recipes here. Now these things can build buildings as well. So setting one up to produce conveyors and sorters and Tesla towers and stuff is actually quite useful. The rest of them I sort of build stuff as and when I need it, but these 3, having a sort of little supply of these is very, very useful. It's a big time saver. Anyway, so the first thing that we really want to kind of start producing is probably magnetic coils and circuit boards. we need all three, in fairness. Magnetic coils and circuit boards are required in order to produce the blue cubes, these things, which help us research more stuff. So if I can get those two set up, but I am going to need a lot of these in order to produce conveyor belts in order to produce these things. So this is where it's kind of very, very similar to obviously lots of other factory games where you've got kind of chicken and the egg situations. So you need these resources to do these resources to do these resources, and so on and so forth. So we need to feed into this and many more like it. I can get a few more actually building, shall we say. Let's get another 8 going. It's taking a little while to do that. We're going to need some more iron ingots, I think. We need to feed all of the materials that we've got farming at the moment into those manufacturers. Just pitch up a bunch of like ingots and stuff so I don't have to worry about it in order to produce the next level of stuff. So let's set this guy onto circuit boards, because that's just those two components. That's just iron, so we'll have another line to the left of that. And this one, which requires the magnets, which are on our right, we'll have a line going up past the other side of this coal deposit here, I think, maybe. Let's think about that, actually. We've got 3 lines that we need. So maybe let's set up one line starting there. Another line starting... Oh, I can't build that because we're still building stuff. Still working through cogs. But we'll have another line running up there, and we'll have another line running up there. So we'll have 3 lines of sort of 4 or 5 manufacturers. So this one will be our magnets and copper then. So that's the magnetic coils. And we need to run... I mean, copper's easy enough to run from there. We'll run that from here up and across. We'll keep that going over to the next line as well. We have a nice conveyor belt full of copper ingots. Belt will now still start filling up with that, and then we need to run another belt from our magnets over there all the way over here. So this is kind of like where you start ended up with these. It's kind of a horrible snaking conveyor belts and stuff. There isn't really an option to this. I just have to sort of... There's the resource. I need to get it over here. You know, I have to run a conveyor belt. There isn't really any option other than to do what I'm doing. One of the problems I do run into in this game is I like to have my manufacturing in a line like this, you know, like proper assembly line type thing. But what that does is that now pretty much cuts off any kind of direct exit access for the product itself, which is fine because there is a way around that. It's not terribly efficient, but it just seems to be the way that I do it. So we'll run another conveyor there. This will be our output conveyor belt. And what I'll do is I'll just run output sorters a little bit further. They take longer to then put the things on the conveyor belt, but if I put 2 of them there, they should be basically the equivalent speed of a single one right next to it. But in an ideal world, you want your sort of output sorters only going 1 tile rather than 2. We've got them here. You keep running out of these damn things as well. That would be better. But there we go. In the situation we're in, my solution is to just have 2 sorters in the place of 1. And that way I can have all the magnets and stuff running up either side of these manufacturers, ready to go in and start producing magnetic coils. Now, that just needs some power. So, we're probably going to break the grid again. But let's try and keep some neat and tidy power coils going on here. Tesla towers. So we want them in triangles. That's probably a good one. And try and do that. And there we go. Powered up. Now this is going to start sort of gathering. Because actually, there is a nice little keyboard shortcut. There's less than and greater than. If you hover over something producing, say the magnetic coils here, like this assembly thingy right here, press the less than key. It copies the recipe. Press the greater than to paste it to the other manufacturers, and off they go. That's quite cool. So I'm going to put some storages over here. I'm going to sort of get past this this coal deposit here first, so that I have some room around there to do something with that later. So let's extend our conveyor belt first, and then we're going to have some storages, and I'm going to run those in a sort of... Oh, we need more storages. See? Reoccurring theme. Just running out of stuff. Storages require concrete, so every now and again I'm having to sort of quickly pick up some rock until I get rock actually turning into concrete as part of a production line. I don't quite really need it yet, other than the occasional storage example, so I'm not too worried. Right, run a couple of storages next to each other like that, and then we'll run these guys in with 2 sorters. That, and yep, we need more power. We need more Tesla towers. Oh, I need magnetic coils. Well, funny you should mention magnetic coils. They seem to have a few of those lying around now. There we go. That should be plenty of Tesla towers now. Let's keep them in line. Move that one back 1 notch, and that will pick up that sorter. There we go. Wonderful. We have our first tier 1 product, sort of. Well, I suppose it's a tier 2 product, isn't it? But tier 1s are the ingots themselves. I don't really count them, so a tier 2. All right, it's first tier 2 product line, and we will have apparently don't know how that's tier 4. It's just an iron ingot. All right. The tiers seem a bit weird to me. I would call this tier 1, but there we go. Anyway, so I need to now do this all again, but for the next product. So I have a bunch of other assemblers here. I'll leave a bit of room. Now, fortunately, this one is copper and... now, this isn't going to work, is it? Because I want to take from that copper line there. So this is quite an interesting little challenge. So what can I do? I want to take from that copper line there, but I want to keep all these manufacturers in a nice sort of group here, so that they're all sort of very close to this copper line. So the problem is I have sorters already over these tiles. I can't put more sorters there to grab these copper ingots off of this conveyor. Okay, so we have to get a bit creative with this then. I'm a stickler, I'm stubborn, I tell you. I just make it hard for myself, I really do. I want my manufacturing to be here. I don't want to, you know, make that conveyor any longer and run it any further up. I want it to be here like this. So what I can do is, well, we can shorten this conveyor here. That's going to make our life a little easier. Is using sorters again. We can run another line of conveyors up to there, because we're run out of conveyor belts. Just give me a bunch of those, please. And then use sorters to switch a bunch of the ingots onto this conveyor here, like that. So actually, it's like a splitter, you know, in a way. But we get actually proper splitters later on. But for now, we can use those things. I think it's not terribly energy efficient, but it will work. And then we can get that line of copper there into these manufacturers. Now these guys are going to be making circuit boards for us, which require just iron and copper ingots. Notice the recipe there. Only 1 copper but 2 iron. Well, that's good. That means we're not going to take too much load off of that copper line there. And a single sorter into each of these manufacturers will do nicely. We might need 2 sorters from the iron line once we bring it up here, in order to keep the efficiency at the highest level. And also we need to keep an eye on power distribution. And we're going to cluster things so close together now that we're going to possibly get in our own way. So I need to be careful. I want to run iron up here, but don't forget we also need an output line as well. So we're going to put that Tesla tower right in the way. It's literally in the worst place possible right there. Let me see if I can move it one more over. I think I can. You got a bit of flexibility there. So we're going to have iron line, output, and then a spare line there. Okay, so that's where our Tesla tower is going to go. Lovely. And then we're going to end up with this horrible little bit in the middle there that doesn't have any, but fortunately there's a little gap. Perfect. Lovely. And another Tesla tower there. Look at that. Fantastic. Let's copy these recipes over. They'll start absorbing some copper. Right, now I need to go and get the iron and bring that up here. And there we go. I'm going to have the iron coming up here. Now that is all full of electronics. I will take them off your hands. Thank you very much. Good sir. And of course, we now need to run how much? We're about 80% satisfaction. We are going to have to build another bunch of these guys. Let's get a bunch of those going as well. We'll set them down in a minute. But we are going to need an output belt. So put an output belt to about there. Get that building. And we're also going to need to split this iron off onto our next line of manufacturing in a second to produce the cogs, the gears. I'm hoping, because I've got 2 input iron lines, I'm hoping that this one long output is quick enough. It does seem to delay it, product stacking. There's a little delay there. Now, I can upgrade these to our tier 2s, which will speed it up later, but I'm going to have to wait before I can get those. For now, they're just going to have to be a little bit rubbish. Right, okay, so we got a little bit of room here. We can put some more wind turbines. That's brought our power back up to 100%. Now, we just need to sort out the storage for these guys, and then we can do the exact same again, but for the gears. Now, I did just notice a problem up here for the electromagnetic coils. It seems this guy on the end here was not getting any magnets coming through. Now, it seems that he's getting magnets now. Just keep an eye on that, because I think he's getting one. He's getting like the perfect amount right now, because he's not getting any more, he's not getting any less. He's able to make a magnet every single time. But that's great and all. Now I sorted that out. Why are you waiting? Why weren't you getting any magnets? Oh, you're not getting any copper. What the hell? Where's the copper coming? Oh dear. Yeah, so already starting to get little problems with this production line. There's just not enough. And I think it might be a case that these guys is simple. I can just increase the amount that they chuck onto the belt here, and that should be able to fill the belt back up again. So that's just that one sorter is just not working fast enough, so hopefully that copper will start to now build up on the belt again, and these guys can get back to work. And there we go, gears set up as well. So there we go, we got gears, the electronics, and the electric magnetics all now going into storage, ready for us to place down our matrix lab and start producing research. This is what you need to do in order to set up your first kind of manufacturing lines. Now I've taken it to the sort of, you know, next level with stupidity in terms of lining all this stuff up and starving some of my manufacturing lines, because I just don't have enough stuff going onto belts quickly enough. Yeah, I might have to revise that. Definitely need more iron ingots on the line now that I've introduced cogs. The old electronics is not getting enough. These 3 are picking up all the ingots, filling up this. I'm hoping that this line fills up. It can't take any more, and then it goes back over to that one. Yeah, there you go. It's sort of doing it, kind of, not really. Anyway, oh dear. Don't expect any kind of professional, mathematically defined manufacturing here on this series, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no. Literally, I'm just going to do things to try and make them look cool. And that's my priority. Efficiency be damned. That looks cool. And that's all I care about. Who cares if these things are pausing every now and again because the damn sorters are too slow? No. It looks cool. There we go. Okay, well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's Dyson Sphere Program. Like I said at the beginning, do let me know. Did you enjoy this episode? Do you want to see more? You know, hit that like button if you did as well. That's a great help. And we'll be back, I think, next episode to put down the Matrix Lab and start going through some of these research and upgrade stuff. And hopefully we'll soon be able to fly around the map. Because this thing, you can see it's got little jet things. I just can't use them yet. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.